So Josh Taylor becomes the undisputed super lightweight champion of the world after beating Jose Ramirez in a unanimous decision over in Vegas by 114 to 112 across the board, actually, from all three judges. Yeah, 114, 112 across the board. And I rewatched the fight this morning because I only woke up to catch the last round last night. So I purchased the event on Fight, rewatched the whole thing this morning, finished it up about an hour ago, scored the entire thing from start to finish. And I've got to say, I'm shocked. I can't agree with the judges more. I had it 114 to 112. I think the two knockdowns in round 6 and round 7 really made the difference. I gave Ramirez round 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and also gave him round 3. So yeah, I had Taylor pretty much in control for the first 7 rounds, you know, especially with the 6 and 7 where he scored a 10-8. So I think that's why it was so tight in the end. I think a lot of people just see 2 knockdowns and expect the distance to be a lot greater at the end line. But obviously, as we all know, it's scored in rounds, people. So this is boxing for you. So yeah, 114, 112, certainly can't complain. So glad to see we've got the right scores and the right man won. What I would say, though, is that Kenny Bayless, who was the referee for the Wilder Fury 2, some of the refereeing was just a disgrace in this fight. I'm sorry. When Ramirez got knocked down in round 7 by that brutal left uppercut, he got so much time to recover. It was unbelievable. So much time. And there was a few times a lot of times in the fight where the guys were doing what I'd call just some light clinching. They weren't holding a lot. They weren't, bear hugging each other. But as soon as there was any form of clinching, the referee was straight in there. He just wasn't allowing these guys to trade as much as they could have. Reminding me a bit of the Joshua Parker fight in a way. The referee was straight in there. Just sometimes, look, the fighters are going to clinch. Sometimes they will naturally come out of these clinches if you let them throw punches. So, look, I'm not saying it's an easy job, but sometimes you've got to let the fighters just fight. If there's excessive holding, I get that. But this really wasn't that. But other than that, really, really good fight. Josh Taylor moves on. Now, a lot of people have been saying, what does he do next? Will he vacate and go up to welter? I believe he will eventually, yes, but not right now. So I expect him to make at least one defence because he's actually got to take care of business back home with Jack Catterall, who's actually mandatory for the WBO. Jack Catterall actually stood aside to allow this unification. He was promised whoever won, he would get that shot. Now it's going to be a lot easier to make the fight now that Taylor's obviously won it, so he can bring those belts home, and hopefully we can have we can have a unification at home between 2 of our own. That would be fantastic. And if we can get some more people in an arena or potentially a stadium for that, that'd be great, because it was a bit disappointing last night because it was at the Virgin Hotels in Las Vegas. They can only have about 1,000 people in attendance. So it was good to get some energy from the crowd. But for an undisputed mega fight like that, to only have 1,000 fans, very, very disappointing. But look, I'll take it over an empty stadium any day, because as you all know, boxing just isn't the same without spectators. So the more people we can get in arenas or stadiums, the better. So yeah, I fully expect Taylor to make at least one defence, and then depending on the outcome of that, let's say he was to defend his belts against his mandatory, I would imagine he'll vacate and go up to welterweight. Obviously, there is a potential fight to be had at welterweight against Terence Crawford, who's obviously in the top rank Bob Arum stable. So it's a very, very easy fight to make. And yeah, look, obviously great for, Great Britain to obviously have a fighter to go over there and stick it to a Mexican for a change, because we've not had much luck recently, have we? Let's be honest. So really, really pleased. Congrats to Josh Taylor. He moves on. I fully expect Ramirez to be back. It wasn't like it was a 12-round beatdown. It was certainly far from that. It was a very close contest. But he's never been down twice in one fight in his professional career. So maybe they'll go back, look at that, and come back to the drawing board. So yeah, just a quick one, guys. Obviously, if you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, leave me a comment. What did you make of the fight? What next for Josh Taylor? And guys, as always, if you're feeling really, really generous, then subscribe. Cheers.